Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about something that is really simple, but it can change your life just like that, and is the power of belief. So basically, it's just how important it is what we believe in, what we actually do, and what we actually achieve. So let's start from the beginning. What is a belief? A belief is an idea that a person holds to be true. Simple enough, isn't it? A belief can come from different sources. It can come from that person's personal experience or experiments. It can come from socially acceptable or cultural, or it can come from what other people say. So as you can see, the majority of our beliefs are actually formed by other people, like our parents, TV, social norms, and unfortunately, most of them are actually limiting beliefs, which means that most of them limit us to a certain thing. Like we can never be rich, or you can never, or you shouldn't chase your dreams and get a safe job. These sort of beliefs have been battered into our brain from a young age, and they're not our own, but they actually shape our life in a way that we don't even realize. So in order to use the power of belief and change our belief system, we have to reprogram our brain. And the way to start doing that is just to understand that we are limitless and you are limitless, and there's nothing that you can do. You can see example of that all around you every day, but I'm just going to give you 4 examples. It might be examples that you already know because they're really famous, but I just want to mention them. So the first one is the 4-minute mile. Prior to 6th of May 1954, nobody thought that a human being can run a mile in 4 minutes. The general consensus was that it's physically impossible. They actually said that legs, if somebody attempts to do that, their legs will explode and they will certainly die. This belief was considered to be true for so many decades that it was so well stamped in the brains of the people, although athletes continue to try to do this. Well, on the 6th of May 1954, Roger Bannister actually performed a miracle because he managed to run a mile in 4 minutes. And by doing this, he broke this belief, and from that point on, athletes continued to do it. Another example is lifting 500 pounds overhead. Prior to 1970s, nobody was able to lift 500 pounds overhead, but Russian athlete Vasily Alexeyev actually proved that that is possible. And he was actually a bit tricked because his coaches told him that that he already lifted the 500 pounds, he already did it. So his coaches told him before he was going to do it again that he's going to do the same weight, but actually he was doing 500.5, and without him knowing, he actually lifted more than he actually did before, because he lifted the 500 before, and then for a long period of time he didn't do it. Without him knowing, he actually lifted more than he thought, and he was able to do it, and he established a new world record. A third example is Kyle Maynard, who overcome numerous obstacles. He was born with a congenital amputation, and he was able to overcome numerous obstacles. Amongst them, one is just amazing. He was able to climb the Kilimanjaro mountain, which people who have a whole body are not able to do. But he was able to do it because he believed he could do it. And the last example that I want to give you is a miracle healing, is Maurice E. Goodman, who had a terrible plane crash accident and that left him paralyzed on the whole body. The only thing that he could do was just blink. He was told by doctors that he will never be able to walk again, and he didn't want to believe that, he didn't want to accept that. So every day when he was in the hospital, he was just visualizing himself walking out of the hospital. And 8 months later, he actually managed to walk out of the hospital after doctors telling him that he will never be able to walk again. Well, these are just a few examples of the power of belief, and I'm sure that you've come across numerous examples in your life, or that you actually, if you think about it, you've done some things that contradict the beliefs that you might have or people around you might have, but you might not even realize it. What we have to bear in mind is just that a lot of things were considered impossible until somebody really stubborn decide to prove them wrong, or to prove somebody wrong anyways. So I always think, well, somebody really stubborn did it, so I'm quite stubborn, so I'll be able to do it, or at least try doing it. So now I want to talk to you a bit about how you can actually use the power of belief, and I'm going to give you some tips on how you can use this amazing tool. So as I mentioned, the first thing that you have to do in using the power of belief is just change your mindset. And you have to change your mindset from a fixed mindset to a growing mindset. What I mean by this is, a lot of people in the world consider that they've been given certain skills or certain abilities, and there's nothing they can do about it. That's what they have to work with, and that's that. And that is a limited mindset. And there's other categories of people in the world who consider that their skills and their abilities is something that they can learn, is something that it can be achieved through hard work. And there's actually studies being done about this. It's about the locus of identity, and there's actually studies, you can Google them, it's amazing studies where students who've been given a test. They do two groups of students, they've been given a test, and they've been said, both groups have been said that the results were amazing, considering what the actual results were. But the first group was told that the results were amazing due to the fact that they're really intelligent and really clever. The second group was told that the results were amazing due to the fact that they were really hardworking. What happened then, they were given another set of tests with variants in the test, ranging from easy to quite difficult. The first group of students were told that they performed really well in the first test because they were really intelligent. Only tried to fulfill the second test, only tried to fulfill the easy bits, and then didn't really have really good results. They actually got bored when they were asked if they had fun doing it, or if they enjoyed doing it. They said no, not really, because they believed that they only could do as far as they could do because they were intelligent, and that's the limit that they had. They imposed themselves certain limits. Whereas the second group of students who were told that they performed really well because they were really hardworking, they actually had really good results. And when they were asked if they had fun, if they enjoyed doing it, they said, yeah, we really enjoyed having a crack at the hard and the challenging bits of the test. And that's because they believed that they can influence the results of the test. And it's kind of the same with this. If you have a fixed mindset and you believe that there's not a lot of things that you can control, then you are just limiting yourself. But if you have a growing mindset, when you believe that everything that you do or everything that you want to achieve is based on you, and you have the power to actually change what is going on and change your actions, then you are more likely to actually succeed. I hope this makes sense because it was quite a long one. And anyways, the second way that you can use the power of belief is just eliminate all limiting thoughts. So this kind of ties in with the first one, because as I said, if you have a mindset where you're just limiting yourself, then of course you're not going to want to do what you want to do, because you're always going to put yourself in this little box, and you're going to say, no, I can't do this because this and that and this. So what you always have to bear in mind is that you are limitless. And what I personally do to take myself out of this box is just, I think, the example that I gave you of Caldo example, if there are people around this world who can do amazing things without having a whole body, without having the ability to see, without having the ability to hear, without having all limbs, thank God, I'm whole. I'm sure I can do a list of parts of what these people do, because I have an advantage from the start point. So you have to get out of this limiting and putting yourself into a box. The third way that you can use the power of belief is just affirm it. So what I mean by this, you have a dream, yeah? We all do. If it's not true today, that doesn't mean that it's not going to be true tomorrow. So you always have to affirm it. You always have to have it in your mind and make it really present for you. And one example that I'm sure a lot of you might have heard is about Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, when he was young, before he was really known, he was really poor. And what he did, he wrote himself a check of a huge amount of money. I can't even pronounce, it's a huge amount of money. He wrote himself this check, which it doesn't even matter what amount he wrote on it. It matters that he wrote himself a check that he couldn't cash. It was a blank check that he couldn't cash. But he wrote it, and every day he was looking at this check. That was his dream. His dream was to have this amount of money in his bank. Well, 3 years later, he had this money in his bank. That's what I mean by affirm it. Do a vision board. Write it down. Every morning when you look in the mirror, just say it. Say what you want. Because this makes it real, and this tells your brain, well, this dude really wants to achieve this. Might as well do everything that I have in my power to help him achieve this. The fourth way that you can use the power of belief is just go out and start creating. It's a simple law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It doesn't matter how amazing your attitude is. It doesn't matter that you're sitting in your house, you have your vision board, or you have your goal written on a piece of paper. It's nice and neat and beautiful, and you just have it and you visualize it and you have it every day. You have to actually go out and start taking action to achieve your dream. It's not going to come out of the sky. If you want to be rich, you're not going to wake up one morning and have a big sack of money in your living room because you have an amazing dream and you visualize that you're going to have lots of money. No, it's going to take action from you. And it doesn't matter if your action is amazing from the beginning, because it won't be. It's just going to be a little step to get you in the direction that you need to be. The worst thing that you can do is not take action. That's the worst thing that you can do, is not take action. And number 5 is just keep at it. As I said, you're going to get out into the world and do it. It's not going to be perfect from the beginning. It's not going to be how you envision it, but it doesn't matter. It's perfect how it is because you are doing something. You are taking action. And what you have to do is just be persistent with it and just don't give up. Keep on it. Remember that it took Jim Carrey 3 years to get that amount of money in his bank. Nobody gets rich and famous overnight. Nobody has a lot of money overnight. Nobody does anything overnight. It doesn't happen. Stop believing in miracles that happen overnight. You have to put in the work. And just believe in it and see it through. Well, that was all about the power of belief. I tried to keep this as short and sweet as possible, because the essence of this video is just to break your beliefs and get on and do it. So I hope that you found this video inspiring, and I hope that after watching this you're going to get off that chair or that sofa and just start working on your dream. I want to hear about your dreams and what you want to achieve. So please leave me comments with what your dream is. If it's to be rich, which is a dream that we all have. Let's be serious. Who doesn't want to be rich? If it's to be famous, if it's to be a movie star, whatever your dream is, small to really big, leave me a comment. I'm really interested to know. I hope that you found this video really inspiring. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this from me, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, you might see other videos here. And don't forget to love yourself and love life with everything that it has to offer. Bye!